Mr. Guadiana,
Present.
Mr. Terrazas, Secretary Terrazas,
Present.
and myself. We do have a quorum. Ms. Murillo is not able to be here, and neither is Ms. Dean. We'll move on to board norms.
And Ms. Zapata is here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, our student representative. Thank you for being here. I'll start actively. Number one, actively listen to all perspectives.
Close the loop, responding to concerns and questions as a unified board.
Model the professionalism we are expected from all members of the district and community, customer service orientation.
Number four, assume positive intent.
Be positive and responsive.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, that moves us on to our student representatives report.
Cobre football had battle hard against Robinson on Saturday. They held Robinson at 3 for the entirety of the game. Both C team and JV won against Gadsden, but varsity was sadly not victorious, but they did battle hard. We did start Cobre Silver Week with Decade Day. Cross country did have their first meet on Saturday, and there will be a club meeting at the high school introducing all the clubs to new students.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
No, it's, I just want to praise the team for having such a strong showing in Robertson. That's a tough area. It's a very tough area, and I'm glad to see all the other sports starting out. And the track did pretty well, from what I understand. The track team, yeah, yes. So, just a good start.
Okay. Thank you, Mireya, and it's my understanding you have practice, right? So feel free to leave whenever you need to.
Thank you.
Okay, that moves us on to number 3, action items. Item A, approval of agenda items. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the agenda if there's not any changes. Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay. That moves us to item B, approval of the regular board meeting minutes of August 14th, 2023.
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. That moves us to item C, approval of a resolution for cooperative agreement between the New Mexico Department of Transportation and the Cobre Consolidated Schools for the Central Drainage Project.
Mrs. Walton, you have any update?
What I can tell you is that we have extended the date for the expiration for the first part of the money that we get for the first phase. And so both of them will expire December 31st, 2024, which is what the resolution is that you guys are getting, is actually agreeing to that extended deadline. We're still waiting on the certificate from Santa Fe, so we can't schedule anything yet.
Is this the environmental certification?
Mhm.
Do we have any idea when we'll
They
get-
told me a month to 6 weeks, and we're probably about 3 weeks out, so hopefully we'll get it here pretty soon.
Okay.
The total amount for the project is going to be 32,000?
I think that's one,
That's what the resolution-
one part of it is, I thought it was like 34,000. And then
Okay.
we have a second part too that we have, and I'm not sure what the figures are on that. Do you know, Frank?
I think we got awarded for both years for the same project.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about 38,000? Okay.
Yeah,
78 total
yeah.
over 2 years.
Okay,
Mhm.
so it's 3 months. Okay. I move that we accept the resolution as written, pass the resolution as written.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, that moves us to item D. Approval of the first reading of amended board policies A0350, A0400, B-0025, E3100, and J-1050. Is there any discussion on this?
Yes, I looked on the website, our website, for the policies, and they're there, but none of them reflect any of these changes. Are we going to post these changes after we approve the first reading, or?
I think this is the first reading.
There's the first reading, but in such, it has to be available for the public to view. And if you go to our website and you go to the policy, it doesn't reflect any of the changes. As a matter of fact, 2 of these aren't even reflected in our policies.
Ms.
Per
Ms.
policy number.
Church, do you know where they're located?
I have not been given any of these policies, and I can post them after tonight, post them in the morning, and then we can approve that for second reading.
We have to have comments from the first reading. So we really can't conclude the first reading until it's been posted and people have been given an opportunity to comment. And then once that period's closed, then we can do a second reading. And once that comments reading there, then we can actually adopt the resolutions, the policies.
Okay. Then I'd entertain a motion.
I entertain a motion to table this till we get this up on the website and give the public a chance to review the policies.
Okay, so I have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, this will be tabled until we can get those up on the website. This moves us to item E, review of the bills. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to accept the bills as provided. Is there any comment from the Finance Committee?
Yes, so we did review these at our last finance meeting in early August. And so they went through the Finance Committee. So it's my recommendation that we approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. That moves us to item 4, the Finance Committee report. We haven't met since the last time I gave a report. We're due to meet here in September. Okay, that moves us to item 5, board members report. Does anyone have anything to report? I know Mr. Terraza suggested this would be a good idea. He'd seen it with other school boards, right?
Yeah, with other school boards, and with the township, cities, and county, they go around their own table and ask for updates or questions, whatever. Again, from my report, I had an opportunity last Saturday to attend the Southwest Regional Education Co-op in Deming for about 5 hours. Very informative. Ms. Gutierrez, Mrs. Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very informative. It was a small handful of people, one from Deming, one from Tier C, and myself and Mr. Guadiana. We got a lot of information. It was very informative. Of course, it's a requirement for us to have 5 hours of training for the year, so they give us 2 hours, but highly encouraged when we have those trainings in our local area, so we don't have to travel as far, so that. And then I was gonna follow up with Ms. Walton. I had a conversation with the Lieutenant Governor, and he has money he had put aside for the bleachers at the softball field. Do you know where that stands, or what this update is? Are you giving in your report, or?
It is not on here today.
Okay,
I'm aware of that situation and what's going on.
okay, good. Thank you for the update.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. Guadiana?
Also attending that same conference, it's centered on the New Mexico Code, Chapter 22, which deals with the school board business, and it provided us a lot of documentation that's really very helpful. And also the other focus was on the Open Meetings Act, for which we received additional information, and there was an exercise. And again, I would like to repeat what Mr. Terraza stated, that having those opportunities for training locally saves the district money, and it also saves us wear and tear. So I would hope that we could get the word out to our other members and the Silver District, as well as Lordsburg, to see if they can attend those more regularly.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
I'd like to add that we do have a Region 8 meeting in Deming on September 26th, I believe. So if the board members, if they're willing to attend.
And there's also one additional training with the New Mexico School Board organizations, and it's in September. I don't remember exactly the date. I know we have 5 days left to register, but I'm going to register to that one and go to that.
Okay. Anything else? Nothing for me. I attended the Snell, La Plata. They had a tournament at La Plata, so I got to see the volleyball girls play, and I'm hoping to go to the Cobre Silver game Friday at 7 p.m. So, all right. That moves us on to item 6, superintendent's report. Item A, update on bond projects.
So, Ms. Walton, go ahead.
Madam VP, Interim Superintendent Curry, I would like to update you on the bond projects. So if you've been out by San Lo, you've seen that it's being painted. It's getting closer and closer to being done. We should be done probably no later than this weekend. So that's looking really good. The other one is the softball batting cages. We just issued a PO today to Desert Bear. They're going to do that project for $24,484.69. And then the Snell security cameras and the Bayard security cameras, they're still working on that. I think they have another, week or two, Caitlin?
Something another week and a half.
And then let's see, the Hurley Playground turf, they're gonna be out on September 6th to fix that. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's bubbled, so they're going to get that all straightened out. So that is, I think, everything that's still outstanding at this point.
Ms. Walton, do we know how long that the turf's going to be covered? Is there like a warranty?
For their
on-
warranty. I'm not
Yes.
sure, but I'll check on that and I'll report back.
Okay, thank you.
Was the turf used at the schools, part of the leftover turf from the football field?
No, that was new turf that was put in by Exeter Play.
Because after they finished the baseball fields and the football fields, there was probably about 15 rolls of turf at the school, out between the softball field and the football field. And that has gone down to very few left.
I don't know anything about that. I can check and find out. I do know that we have some in the warehouse that has been used for the graduation platform, I think, is what they told me. So we do have some of that, but I don't know what you're talking about.
This was several, and so I appreciate it if you could look into that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it was just laying out there, not covered or anything.
And where did you say that was at?
It's by those movable storage containers that are between the football field and the softball field, closer to the softball field. There's those large metal containers, and it was in between two sets of those.
What is it? You say that the graduation, that was just the load, that was just that one you buy off the
Oh,
load.
is it? Okay.
I wonder if that might be like extra, it gets damaged. I wonder, like on
Yeah.
the baseball, softball field maybe.
Yeah, I'll check into it and find out what the status is on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walton.
Yeah. And I'm number B if you want that information too.
Sure.
The golf course, we have taken over training on how to do that. I think this week is our last week of training, and then we will be taking that over completely the following week. I think that the gentlemen who have been volunteering over there will still occasionally be coming over to help out with stuff, but we're pretty much taking it on. And I haven't heard back from the city yet as far as whether they have new employees on staff that they can also help with that. But it's going to be kind of a big project for us. It's going to turn out to be more than 5 hours a week, which is what they originally requested.
Maybe we can set a meeting to talk to the city again, just so they can meet us halfway. I know we signed that MOU for the baseball field too, so maybe they can help us and we're helping them have that good working relationship.
Yeah, we just talked to Mike over there just like a week ago about this, so we can talk to him again. We've been doing a lot for the city lately.
All right, well, thank you, and then I think at some point I'd like to, I don't know, recognize those 2 volunteers that have been volunteering over there.
It's 3.
Oh, 3,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
maybe at our next board meeting, I can talk to President Murillo and we can do that.
okay.
That 5,000, the 5 hours a day.
No, 5 hours a week is
I'm
what
sorry,
they
five-
originally
five-
asked.
5 hours a week was only half. That, the city was going to do another 5 hours. So I think the intention was to work on it 10 hours a week. And I have a question, is this actually in our budget?
Yes, we did have
It's a, no,
it. It's not set aside specifically for the software, but we, something we provided for it year in, year out.
And it is not like Mr. Ryan said, in the budget, but I had been speaking to Mr. Holgram about it possibly becoming a line item in our budget, but the finance committee had asked for a proposal to come from the golf course.
and it didn't come?
It hasn't come. Mr. Holgram's been invited to do that.
Okay.
I do know that he's out of the state for probably 2 to 3 months. Brad is, and I don't know whether Mark and his brother, I can't even think of what his name is right now, if they have all that information to present to us.
Okay.
Okay, that moves us on to item C, fundraising.
So under item C, we don't have any fundraising report. In your packet was one that already has been approved last board meeting. But we do, under item D, have 3 donations that we gladly accept for our Cobre football program. One being from In-N-Out Lube for $100, The next one from the Moose Lodge for $2,500. And then from the Elks Lodge for $400. So we really want to thank those entities for supporting our sports programs with their generous donations. And again, we'll make sure that we get thank you notes out to these people for their help with our programs. And that concludes Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Corey. That moves us on to item 7, new business. I don't see anything listed under there. That moves us to item 8, public input items of concern. Does anyone have public input? Sure, sir, if you just wouldn't mind coming to the podium and introducing yourself.
Hello, my name is Victor Hernandez. My name is Victor Hernandez.
You can let go.
It should turn
Yeah,
green.
See if there's a green light.
Hello, my name is Richard Hernandez. I was I took care of Cobre schools and Meebler schools last year. I did some landscaping. And I did Snell Middle School at the start of the year. I was just wondering, I don't know, I kind of feel discriminated because I've been putting in bids and no one's got a hold of me. I've tried to reach Mr. Corey, this lady here. So I don't know am I doing something wrong or?
Sir, we're not really supposed to respond in public input, but I do know we have a procurement process that we have to go through for bids. And there's a committee of people that review those bids, and they have a certain criteria that they have to follow.
Yeah, I do understand that. Last year, I was let go because they told me you had no more money for the budget. So they had told me, oh, well, we're going to have a new budget in July. And that's when their new budget came in, that's when they hired me for Snell. But I'm just saying, all these projects need to be done, and there's nothing being done. And I had dozens of feedback from the community. Everyone loved the way Cobre looked. Everyone was giving me compliments on what a good job I was doing. Well, I guess that's all I got to say.
We can engage in a conversation with you about this if the item is listed on our agenda. If you want to get more of a feedback, you can submit a request to be included in the agenda, and then we can discuss it in more detail.
Okay, and how do I go about doing that?
You can email Ms. Murillo, our board president.
Ms. Murillo?
Yes, and we can get you on the next agenda if you'd like to do that.
Yeah, I probably would do that. No, because, I know they have told me when you guys get bids, what you guys have to do is go to 3 other companies. And usually the way it goes, the lowest bid usually gets it. But, I've put bids over a month and a half ago. There should have been enough time for them to have a response from other companies.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Like I said, there's that process, but next meeting, we can get you on the agenda and we can have more
All right,
of
so,
that dialogue with you, sir.
Okay, so email Ms. Murillo.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're
You
welcome.
guys have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other public input, items of concern? Or Ms. Church, is there anyone online? Okay. So that moves us on to item 9. Executive session notice is hereby given so that the Cobre Board of Education will meet in executive session for the following purposes. A, limited personnel matters as permitted under section 10-15-1 H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, specifically so that legal counsel can update and advise the board regarding the status of an investigation of complaints against the superintendent and the superintendent's employment status. Item B, so that the interim superintendent can update and discuss limited personnel matters as permitted under Section 10-15-1H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, specifically the hiring, promotion, demotion, dismissal, assignment, or resignation of, or the investigation of employees of the interim superintendent. That was a mouthful. So I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we go into executive session for the reasons stated.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Guadiana,
Yes.
Secretary Terrazas,
Yes.
myself, yes. So we are now in executive session at 5:26. Are we good to go? Okay, I'd like to reconvene in open session at the conclusion of the executive session for a statement affirming that no action was taken in executive session and that discussions were limited to personnel matters as specified in the agenda. I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we return to open session.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Guadiana?
Yes.
Secretary Terrazas?
Yes.
Myself, yes. We're back in regular session at 6:01. At this time, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, we are adjourned at 6:02 PM.